All right, friends, it is time for another Full Stack Friday round trip here. We've got the back end of our app done last week. We hope. We weren't able to really test it, but I think the code was solid. So famous last words, right? Like ship it. It's done.
Ship it.
I think we could ship it. We've got the back end done, and we're going to work on the front end. I think the front end's going to actually take more effort than the back end did. So the backend code was pretty easy. We'll recap what that was, but the idea is to build a AI-powered theme chooser based off of images we upload. We have what we have dubbed the AI dashboard, the AI funhouse. This is our dashboard for all of our AI kind of playground ideas, examples, and demos, right? Which we need to kind of build like a little about page, but I guess we don't have any real demos yet, except for this quick round trip chat to ask AI what its favorite scary movie is, which it still replies it as a Terminator from 1998 and wants to know
That's
if
too
we've seen
funny.
Sarah Connor. We've got our theme chooser page, but we don't really have any UI for it yet. It's just a page. So that's what we're going to do today is build out the page for it. This is running all in .NET. We've got, let's get the little zoom tool in here. Zoom it, and then I think I opened the wrong version of Visual Studio. We want to make sure I've got the version in presentation mode where everything's nice and big for folks at home. Napalm Codes, welcome. Runty Robot, welcome. Let's try this again. Let's open our app back up. All right, here we go. We've got the back end of the house in ASP.NET. We've got the front end of the house in Blazor. So this is ASP.NET Blazor. So we will be writing some C# code, some HTML, some CSS, no JavaScript. We're going to try to stay away from the JavaScripts if we can. On the back end last week, we built out this computer vision service.
Ooh.
The computer vision service takes a couple of keys for an Azure AI trained model. The model can do all sorts of cool stuff with images. And these are just the tip of the iceberg here. We're going to send an image up. It's going to tag it. So it'll look at things inside of the photo, buildings, people, animals, tag what those things are. It will also create a paragraph-like description, and it will give us the primary color used in the image that we can use to generate a theme.
Fancy.
So the way this works is we spin up a new computer vision client. That is our, it's kind of like just touching the endpoint and making sure that we have access to it. The computer vision client, we then tell it what features. Again, this is just a few things that it can do. There's many other things that the model can look for in our images, but these are the ones we're focused on. We tell it what features we are looking at to extract from the image. Then we call analyze image in stream async. That method gets a memory stream, which is the photo we are uploading to the server. And then it takes that as bytes and puts it in a memory stream and sends that off to Azure. And then we tag it with the features, and then we return the analyzed image result, the image analysis. That image analysis has, let's see if I can click into it here. It's not gonna let me click into it. We'll dig up the documentation. Oh, there it goes. Finally. It's a little slow today. This has all of the things like categories. Was it an adult image? What's the color? Tags, description. So all the stuff that we told it to go ahead and look for. Now, we haven't enabled a lot of these. Like, I think the adult will come back null because we're not checking to see if it's an adult image, which we could add that if we wanted to. When we publish this, maybe we will. Does it have faces? Does it have objects, brands? That was an interesting one that we were talking about last week. So like if somebody in the photo, Chris, has like a Nike cap on, it'll
Mm-hmm.
see the logo in it and it'll say, the brands present in this photo are Nike.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things it can do. So that comes back as our image analysis. So our front end will get that image analysis and we can extract data from it. So let's see where we're at on the back or the front end. We have the page, theme chooser page, and it is just boilerplate. Like it's just an H3 tag. There's no code here at all. So we don't even have a service that can talk to the back end. We need to remember in our program CS here, we've got this HTTP post to API/vision, and it is going to receive a file collection. And that's something that we need to build today, is something that can post to a file collection. So we're going to need some UI components. That'd probably be a good starting point because we need to send a file, right? So we need to get files, and the way we do that in .NET with Blazor, we're going to use the Telerik components because it's going to make things a whole lot easier. Have you done this with standard, like off-the-shelf HTML, Chris?
Probably in some capacity at some point in my life.
So this is something that you can do with raw HTML. It's an input, so it's going to be something like, here, we'll just kind of type this out in the browser. This is full stack Friday, right? So we should probably talk about how we do this. Theme chooser, we would do an input, and then it's a type, and then is it file? There we go. So you'd do one of these, and then let's try to run that and see what it gives us. This is essentially what's wrapped beneath the Telerik UI component. We just get a whole lot more out of the box with the Telerik component. So let's go back to choose theme, and you can see right there, I've got a choose file button now.
So easy. So
you
simple.
just hit choose file, and then I can grab an image, and it has the image. Oh, I canceled it. It has the image, but it didn't do anything with it. So that's the tricky part. That gave us whatever the native file selector is for our device, which is going to be Windows on my machine. And then it lets us pick the file, and it gives us back the file name. And I can't remember. I think from here you have to go to JavaScript and start writing stuff to like get the file data, and then you have to do a fetch request on the API you want to send it to. So that's where things get tricky. So if we come over to the Telerik UI stuff, you see a very similar select dialog here. This one is going to do the same thing. It's going to bring up that same picker, but when I pick it, notice we also get drag and drop here, and then we get a little bit of a nicer UX. We can actually like take the file and delete it off the stack here. Won't delete it from your file system, but it'll take it out of the UI here. We get like a little image icon. We've got, what is this called? Like validation. For like this one has to be a PDF or a doc file. And I tried to upload a JPEG. So there's validation in there to make sure that we get the right file types set up. So there's a lot of additional stuff in this. And there's like progress indicators and all that all wrapped within here. And this is gonna help us move things along. So if we view source on this, we have the Telerik upload component, and we'll just kind of copy this out for now and look at some of the stuff that we have in here. So the properties that are on this, we have save URL. So that lets us post an image to an endpoint. So that's going to come in handy. We're not deleting any files from the server, so we don't need a remove URL. We're going to focus on images. So we probably want to kind of limit that, right? So like JPEG. I wonder if we have like a built-in list of doc types. Like that'd be nice. I need to see
Right.
if we have that like put somewhere in maybe a repo or something. Because there's going to be JPEG. What is there?
We got a GIF.
GIF.
We got SVG.
SVG. I don't know if the service will take all of those. So the
Oh,
service
PNG.
probably,
Yep.
yeah,
Renty said
PNG,
PNG.
the service will probably take. I don't think it'll take an SVG. I think it has to
Oh,
be
that's a
like a
bummer.
bitmap based graphic because it's
Okay.
AI.
Okay.
AI searching an image. Let's see. PNG and GIF probably the biggest, or I mean JPEG and PNG probably the biggest too.
Yeah, I would
So
say
let's
so.
limit it to those for now.
Yeah.
If any
Let's
more come
test
to
it and see
mind,
if this works.
right? On select, on cancel, and on remove. I think we just need, I want to say the save URL. I think the save URL, it might be the on select as well. Let's do a little reading. So in this example, we have here, this was the, is there one without validation on it? I just want something a little simpler. Customization, select a file, click on that, and then that one has an upload button, and there it goes off to the server. Let's see what that looks like. So on this one, we have, let's see here. We have an open select dialog. That's, I believe, the custom bit. Upload files. Pretty sure, I should probably just read this. So I'm trying to remember if this automatically uploads when we select the file. Let's see where the documentation takes us here. We've got the file select and file upload components. Oh, did I grab the right one? Because there are two. Okay, Telerik upload. So there's two different ones. There's two different behaviors that we have. In some of this is kind of Blazor specific. The one on the native HTML file selector just selects the file. And that's what the file select component does. And then there is the Telerik upload component, which assumes that you want to take that image and upload it to a server rather than just select it. Because there are scenarios where you want to take an image, select it, and work with it locally. You don't want to upload it to a server. You just want to select it and do something in JavaScript or whatever to modify it.
Right.
So the upload component is the right one because we are going to send this to a server. Let's see. So creating the Blazor upload. We want to set the save URL to the endpoint that will receive the uploaded files. Optional remove. Yeah, I don't want that. Configure the file sizes or types and the size. And that can be an issue that we may have to get into later. We kind of have to tell it how big the files are allowed to be. And then the server also has a limitation of how large files can be sent to it. So that might be something we need to mess with later.
Hmm.
The save action method. Its arguments must be iForm file. The upload always sends files one by one, but both argument types can work. I talked to Thindle about this last week. So there's two versions of the API. Let's see if we go back over to the computer vision service. Let's see that's not the one. The endpoint. Yeah, this one gets an iForm file collection. And that's interesting. The documentation says it's an iForm file, an IEnumerable of iForm file, but I used an iForm collection on the server and I know it works.
Well,
So they
sounds
must be
like
compatible.
someone needs to update the docs, Ed.
It must be compatible. It does send
Sir.
it one by one, and I didn't remember that bit because if you look, we get the iForm file collection and then it grabs the first one off the stack because I
Mm-hmm.
remembered it does send them one by one, like it says here. So we're always going to keep grabbing the first image off of that. But I know I've done this before, and that iForm file collection works. So we'll see what happens there. The data binding in on the server end can get tricky with that if you don't have the right parity of interface. So we've got that. The argument name, form data, request key must match the upload saves parameter. Default is files. I think we're good with that. We need to set the name of this API. So we're going to go out to API Vision, and on our front end of the house here, our save URL should be API Vision. And I'm trying to remember if we need that select handler or not. That's what I was looking for. Security, we'll just gloss over that.
Why
Sending
do we need
files.
security?
Yeah, sending files to a server is just stuff that can go wrong. But there's things in here to try to help you not shoot yourself in the foot. We're not going to, I don't think, have an issue with cores because we're doing this all within the same server and client. Upload code that can execute. What bad can happen, right? We'll let them send exes up to the server. Validation, initial files, templates, don't need that. Large uploads, drag and drop support, upload parameters, save URL, upload. Where's this on selected? That's what I was interested in seeing. I wanted to see if on selected was needed. I think it just automatically uploads. I don't think we need the on selected. I hate trying to read through docs on stream. It's probably in there. I just don't want to bore everyone to death. And then I'm not a fan of, like, unless there's a template in here, let's do a self-closing tag, right? If there's no content in an element and it doesn't need to be an open element, let's go ahead and auto close it. All right, let's just try this and see what happens. So we should probably set a breakpoint and run it in debugging mode though. Just out of habit, I clicked on run without debugging. Any questions what we're doing here, Chris? I know this is new ground for you as far as the .NET side of things
Ugh,
goes.
bro, this is all over my head. So I wouldn't even know what questions to ask because none of it makes sense.
So we got our file selector. We can select a file. I want to set a breakpoint. So what I want to do here is I want to break. So when we hit this, let's see, I want to program CS. When we hit this API, I want to just make sure that we're even getting here. I want to make sure that this even triggers because we're going to have to troubleshoot it if we don't. And then let's just throw some image up there. Let's just grab this PNG file. Failed to upload. So something did not go well. Inspect that and see what's in the console. Server responded with a 400. So that is not found. So 400 would be a resource not found. Calling API/vision. And why is that? So there's a couple things it could be. It's either trying to hit it as a GET request, which I don't know why we would be doing a GET request with a file upload. That shouldn't be the case. The other thing is it could be this form file bit here. So in order for this endpoint to hit, we have to match not only the URL, but the parameters for data binding. And if they don't match, it doesn't resolve this endpoint and it just doesn't hit it at all, which seems to be the case. So we've hit a 400 because it doesn't have an endpoint that matches the criteria. So let's see if we can figure out what exactly it's doing behind the scenes here. There's a tool that we can use. I don't know if I have it handy, but Telerik Fiddler would be amazing for this, and I don't think I have it installed right now, so we're going to use the next best thing. Let's pull off the debug tools and look at the network traffic and see if we can find what's going on here. I don't see anything in here. Let's try this again.
Refresh.
Yeah, let's do just any old thing in here. There we go. So now I've done a request and I'm looking at what it's pinged. It's called out to, it did a post, so that we know we have. It says bad request. Part form data. So it sent an anti-forgery token, and I don't see the image in here. Payload? Oh no, there it is. There's the image. And there's the file name and everything.
That is kind of wonky.
So we're sending the right data, it looks like. And it still says bad request, and we did not hit our endpoint at all. Very interesting. Let's try making this iForm. Gotta stop running for IntelliSense to kick back in.
Does the F in I form have to be capital?
Yeah, I just botched this completely.
Yay, I fixed another .NET bug.
Come
capital
on.
F, add, capital F, add.
It should start filling this in, though.
Well, you're using Visual Studio for one. So, nope. I from file, I form file. There's another bug I just fixed.
There we go. IntelliSense isn't popping up.
I'm not a back-end developer.
If we do that, we don't need to catch the first item off the collection because it's no longer a collection. And let's try rerunning the app. Let's see if that does the trick. Select a file. Just grab any. Oh, failed to upload again. Womp womp.
That is so wonky. I wonder why it doesn't make any sense.
Same problem.
Maybe you should ask Copilot.
Yeah, if it's just a status 400, it's going to be like some really generic answer. Has no other context, but yeah, let's see what it does anyway. This is the AI show, right?
This is the AI show. We need to ask AI how to fix it.
Bad request. typically occurs when server can't understand the request due to malformed syntax. Could
Are
be
we
the
using the
incorrect
right?
URL.
Are we using the right API Vision URL?
Yeah, because there's only the one. I just copied and pasted it right
Mm,
out of the
yeah.
thing. And if we look at the network traffic, let's resend that again. We can see the full path right there. That's
Yeah.
definitely the path that it should be.
Is this a CORS issue? Do we need to implement a CORS policy?
It's the
Bypass this?
same. It's the same uh, server and client URL. Like we're not hitting it from a different like local host
Gotcha.
port or anything like that. It's all the same port, all the same address.
Well, and it's if you look though too, like the content type that's getting in the header, that's the response. It's not coming back as an image. It's coming back as text. So that could be an issue
That's the
because it's
response. The request header is a post to API Vision. It's using HTTPS. It's a multi-part form data, which would include our image. And see, the refer is the same address, so it shouldn't be a CORS issue. And the payload is a binary file. So, and I've got my data binding from form, which I think it's set in here. It was in here somewhere. Yeah.
Is it something that we skipped over in
The
security?
correct binding source attribute from the file name argument is from form. Set it explicitly if you're using API controller attribute. Use the on remove. Yeah, we're not doing it on remove. Must accept post requests. Got that. Make sure to enable controller routing. We're not using controller routing. We're using minimal APIs. Security. If needed, use on upload and on remove events to add header authentication tokens with custom data. We're not doing any custom authentication. So the on upload, if we had like some kind of security token we needed to send manually, like we would do it on the on upload. So this would help us tap into that event, but we're not doing authentication yet. Core is not an issue. Validation not an issue. Okay. I've got, let's see here. I've done this before. Let me see if I can find some references where I've done this before. I built a very similar demo before. So I've done this before. Maybe max file size needs to be there. And then we can look and see what else I've tapped into in my other example. So let's make sure that it's not a file size issue. That was mentioned in the docs, by the way, if I took the time to actually read those. So we'll do a max file size just to make sure that that's not the problem. And then let's see what else we've got in here. Let's go to the code and look and upload success. So this is going to get data back, but we're not even hitting the endpoint yet. So I think I'm just relying on the component to do the sending the data up. So I just called it upload here. That URL shouldn't matter because in this example, that's the name of it. What is, okay, so there's on upload success, and then Is there an on upload? On upload. It just shows a loading message. So I'm not doing anything with that. So I just took advantage of the same stuff. I gave this one a drop zone. We'll probably end up doing some of this stuff. On upload success, on error, save URL. We set the extensions. All of that stuff looks good. Let's go to the server in this app and see what that looks like. Again, very similar stuff here. I've got a collection of endpoints. I'm glad I have a cheat sheet to look at, so we don't have to troubleshoot this too long, I hope.
Cheat sheets are always
From
good.
form files collection. It's the same thing. Map post slash upload async from form iForm file collection.
Do we have something spelled
Map
wrong in our
post.
code here?
I hope
API
not.
vision. Image for analysis, computer vision service, Following method will make an HTTP get minimal, blah, blah,
Here,
blah.
let's take the API bit off of that and just call it vision, just to try to simplify it a little bit, but I doubt that's going to make any difference. So the theme chooser gets slash vision, save URL, extensions, file size.
Hmm.
From form file collection. So I did use a collection there, and that example does work. So I'm just going to go back to that because I know that is a working piece. And then we need to make sure that we're grabbing zero index off of these. And why is that?
What is the dot file name? Why is that getting underlined?
It's a good question. Not access. Oh, there's that another zero based zero dot. Oh, come on. When did I smack my insert button? There we go. That was another array based value there. Let's try to restart that. Did I update the theme chooser? Yeah. Vision. Well, we added a max file size and I changed the URL just ever so slightly. Let's see if that does anything. I just want to hit the URL and make sure this works, and then we could build stuff against it. To upload. Are you kidding me?
This is wonky.
Status 400.
Maybe it's your version of .NET. Maybe .NET's messed up.
That's been a possibility lately. I can't
I mean,
say.
that's every single time something screws up, it's either Visual Studio or .NET.
I don't understand what I'm hitting.
Ugh, JPEG, PNG, all of that looks fine.
It's not
Theme
hitting the
chooser.
endpoint. That's what I don't understand. Like I'm sending the
Is
data and the server's just
is
like,
there like a full? Do you have to have a full URL for the endpoint and not just like slash API slash
no,
vision or slash vision?
you could see it in the developer tools. It's fulfilling the URL for me.
Well, maybe the API
Go
is down.
here, and then we'll go here, and we'll go to network again, and then when I select a file, you'll see the API is being called right here, HTTPS localhost / vision. So it's the correct URL.
Something.
I don't know why it's not hitting. I don't understand.
So it's the file has failed to upload, right? So is it the failing of the upload or the upload is fine? It's the failing of posting it to the API. I think that's the question we need to get answered, right?
Yeah, it seems to not be hitting this at all. Like
Okay,
it's,
so
for some reason, it's not
hmm,
hitting it at all. And it's an HTTP post, so the
do we have to pull in that API somewhere, like, and have it somewhere else in the code so it knows that, hey, this is the API we're going to be using? Or does that even like is that a thing?
It should be automatic because what's happening is the UI component here has this save URL,
Yeah.
and internally it's just doing a HTTP post to that
So what
URL. It's
happens
making the front end is working because I can see the payload when we pull
does
this
does that
up.
does that chunk of code have to go in the at code razor function thing? Is
It
that why
shouldn't
it's not
even
working?
need any of that. So
Well, let's try it.
what do you want me to look at?
Take that Telerik upload and move it into the at code
Oh, no, that
block.
won't even work. That's so the
Oh,
code section is for code only. This is actual markup because this is a component.
got you.
So if we wanted to write some logic there, we could, but
Oh. Well, do we have to import the Telerik uploader in that file? Or it's just supposed to work out of the box?
it should work out of the box.
Oh, jeez.
And so here's the thing, the front end's working because we're getting a post.
Right.
And oh, why did that go to API Vision? Is
Because you
this an
changed it
old
to
version
API
of it?
Vision.
Here, hang on a
No, I
second.
think you changed it to API Vision.
I changed it
Oh,
back
no, you
to
didn't.
slash vision. Let's double check that. I think I just pulled up an old version of the browser, like an old tab. Theme chooser. Let's bring our inspection tool up. We could see the front end work. So if I go over to network, you could see the request went out. So the front end's doing its job. It called, it made the
Okay,
request.
what about the file size? Does the file size exceed what you put into the code? Maybe that's why it's failing because the file size is too big.
It shouldn't be. I'd selected a
Really?
really small file. I selected a tiny file when I did the upload part.
Well,
Select
how big is it? Because PNGs can be pretty big.
properties. 25K.
Oh yeah, it's small.
That's nothing.
No, it ain't nothing.
It's just a little chunk of screenshot that I took. And
Huh.
then it's doing HTTPS. It's
G-zipping it. Yep.
sending it as a form, which is what the server expects as a form. And it's got the payload in it. I can see the binary file there.
Yeah.
All right. That's not working out well.
Good
Should
times.
service. It's not even hitting the service yet. Let's see. HTTP post. It's not even getting to any of this code, which is really annoying. So it's not even making this post happen.
So let's change it back to API/vision. And then let's make sure that matches in the component.
Yeah, that's where we started.
Yep. And let's just save everything, make sure everything is saved, and run it again.
Here, let's do this. We'll do rebuild
Yeah.
solution.
Well, yeah. Why haven't we? Yeah, we should have did that. We should have just tried to rebuild the solution and see what happens.
Run this up.
That's like getting rid of node modules
Oh, don't get me
and,
started on node
npm
modules.
installing again is a rebuild.
Do this and then build to
No.
upload.
Wow.
Why? Why?
I think Blazer's down. Telerik Blazer is down.
Let's start from a different direction. Let's go
I got a
back.
dip in 5 minutes.
All right, and I have to go shortly after that. So when you're ready, my friend, you can go, and I'll try to fix this real fast. I'm
I'll
gonna
try to
go
stick it out with you as long as I can.
to the upload component again, and then let's see if we have. I'm trying to think if we have maybe some extended examples in here.
Live upload demos? Would that be one? Or
We
upload API?
looked. We were just on those pages. Let's go back though. View source, upload controller. So they're not using the minimal API approach here, but it should be about the same. They're using IEnumerable form file. Let's go ahead and try that. Let's give that a shot. I don't know why data binding is being stubborn here. Let's do IEnumerable of iForm file.
Because it's .NET and C#, that's why.
First, so we got to change all this now. First and first. Since it's a collection, now it needs first. It's not an array. And we'll try iForm file.
Let's try it.
Unless there's a change I'm unaware of because my old code worked with. No. Nope.
Thanks, everybody, for coming to the show.
Shit, I know, right? What is the deal? This is an HTTP post. It is an iForm file of, yeah, that didn't seem to do anything. Let's try just returning an okay result, but it's not, no, that's not going to do it because I'm not even hitting this breakpoint. I'm not getting this API endpoint at all. Why?
Something is, if you're not hitting the breakpoint, then it's a deeper issue than.
The chat works. I'm hitting this chat endpoint. We could check that just to, for sanity's sake.
Yeah.
Unless I've got, wait, did I just see something? Hang on a minute. No, that's not it. That can't be it. So is my data binding backwards? Did I do this backwards? HTTP post, string pattern, handler. It's just, if I reverse this, I'm going to be very upset. Quest delegate. Let me look at my other older example again on GitHub just to make sure, but I don't think that's it. Yeah, the file goes first. The service goes second. Let me double check that. I didn't annotate this as a service, but it should have. From services. If that's it, I'm going to be so upset. So if this just clarifies to the data binding mechanics that the next type is a service and it needs to get it from the service collection and not from the post body. And hopefully, if that solves it, I'm going to be mad at myself for not putting it there to begin with. I didn't think it was required for this, but it may help disambiguate the request. No, failed upload.
No.
Jeez, okay. Why, people? Still status 400. Why?
I don't know. But on that note, brother, I got a split ski.
All right, man. Hopefully I will have this fixed by the time you return.
Copy that.
Something so simple always trips me up on this show, and I'm at a loss this time as to what it is. I'm trying to do everything I can to make this right. I've got my from form. This is an iForm collection, and I've specified from services this time. That didn't seem to help. Let's take a look at the reference here. I have HTTP post. This looks identical to me. HTTP post, upload. What the heck? I'll just copy that as well. Upload. Oh, wait. Does this have to be some specific name? I can't remember. Is this, do I have to name something to make that work properly? Is it like a field or something in there? Let's go to theme chooser. There's the save URL, which I just made upload/upload. And then is there something that names that file field. So I named this one My Files. Let's see if My Files appears in the front end of this code. Client. Go on a live stream, forget how to do the simplest stuff, right? So I've got a drop zone ID. I don't see My Files appear in there anywhere. What I probably need to do is just boil this down to a very simple example, even though I have a working example here. Anybody doing file uploads that's got any experience with the problem we're having, chime in, let me know. Because this is frustrating to play out in real time. I've got an exact duplicate of something that I've written before and worked flawlessly. And I'm trying to do it again on a live stream and it's just blowing up. So let's go back out to documentation. I have wrong time. Okay. Don't know what that means. So don't see anything in there that's going to help me. It just doesn't want to work. Sometimes your code doesn't want to work and it just doesn't. Line 55, remove the services word, but talk about from services. That's how I have it set up in my other API and it works fine. And it wasn't working with that before. I don't think that's going to be it. Because, I mean, I can remove it and run it again, but it was failing before with that. From services is getting our service that I wrote on the back end. And that just tells data binding exactly what my intention is there. Yeah, we're still failing there. So that should be there. Slash upload should be there. Slash upload. Back size. Those should be the few things that I need. Computer vision service is, yeah, that's computer vision service is what I called it on this one. Computer vision is from the other project, but thank you for the idea. So the code's compiling right. Try renaming image for analysis files. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There's something with the payload there. It doesn't like the property name or something. I named it My Files in the other example I did, and it seemed to work with that. God, I remember something with this before. I don't see a setting in the component for it, though. Failed to upload. It just does not like this endpoint. Troubleshooting these web API endpoints can be a pain. I'm going to try My Files just because. I feel like there was something with that in the other example I did. Nothing's more frustrating than trying to rebuild something that you've done before and having it fail in real time. It just does not hit that endpoint. doesn't hit it, and I can trace the network and see it do all of its stuff that it's supposed to do, and it just does not want to work. Hey, welcome to the show. Let's see. Let's double check, make sure I'm hitting chat. Chat's hitting. So just hit the chat endpoint, no problem. Hot reload, unexpected error. Like we ever expected hot reload to work. So map post, I've got a map post upload, async from file, iForm file collection, files. Telling it where the services are found. Let's do something a little more basic. Let's try to simplify this. App dot map post slash upload. And let's see. I just want to make some kind of simple. The braces are fine. I don't know. I'm frustrated with this. I have a working sample that does the same thing. Why does my new sample not work? Watch there be some breaking change in some version of .NET that I've got. That's what I'm dealing with on another project. Go to GitHub. I'm going to just grab my other project and see what's going on there, because it seems to work on that project. This was kind of the prototype for what we're going to be doing on the show. So clone, paste, continue, save that, whatever. And run that. Let's see if this fails. This is what we're trying to build. Let's go over to dynamic theming, select a file. Should be able to grab any file. Let's do something with some color in it. That looks like a cool picture, whatever that is. Oh, look at that. Big surprise, my other demo works. So this uses the Vision API also, and it's going to do some of the stuff that we're working on now. And where the heck did it find that red color? I don't know. But that worked just fine. This used the same code I'm trying to type in right now in my other project that is failing miserably. So let's look at this one, and we're going to see what's in here. So I use map API endpoints, and in here I've got an upload component that has nearly the same code that I have in my other component. Ah, there's the culprit, I bet. There it is. I didn't scroll down far enough to see that. Ah, all right. I think I figured it out, folks. So, this is one of the things that I have yet to get used to with the minimal APIs, and that is this accepts part of the method chain. So what I didn't do is tell this endpoint it can accept the files, which you don't have to do with the controller version of it. So I'm woefully out of practice with I disabled the anti-forgery token on this one too for some reason. So we'll run with that. Let's see. Let's see if that works. Minimal APIs are less readable. I agree with that. I'm not necessarily a fan of minimal APIs. There's a lot of, look at that. That worked. Yeah, that would have been helpful. It was at the top. Exactly. Because I kept troubleshooting it from the top because I wasn't thinking of this thing being a method chain. My mind was not making that connection to go down and look beneath the map post to see what chained afterwards. Yeah. So that's a thing. And then the disable anti-forgery token, I can't remember why that ended up in here. We could try it with it on and see if it fails. It maybe where you have to go into that upload method and tell it to upload the anti-forgery token, but I thought I saw it in the header, so I'm not sure why. Yeah, so it fails with that as well. So it was several things. This is part of the problem. Like, HTTP responses don't give you much to debug with. Like, what does 400 mean? Well, when you don't have anywhere to set a breakpoint because you're not hitting the endpoint properly, because that type of thing is happening, you don't have a lot to go by. So that was what we needed. The accepts iForm file, which sets the meme type to multi-port form data and then accepts the anti-forgery token. And the next thing we want to do is set a breakpoint here. Let's reboot that. Yeah, people have complained about that as well. The unit testing seems to be more difficult with an API, minimal API. They say that it can be done. Let's try that again. And what do we get back here? We should have an analyzed image. And there's the color and the description. A dining room with tables and chairs, and that's what we uploaded. So our API is working. We're getting data back. So now we need to capture the data that comes back. So this is now a working example. I like that we got it fixed anyway. Glad I had an example with minimal API already enabled. And we've got some good discussion going with napalm codes. Yeah, the whole API controllers and minimal APIs is a very valid discussion. And there was a good Twitter thread on this the other day. The major argument that kind of wins out, I guess, for minimal APIs is that the way they're written, they're much faster to execute. So the way they're implemented behind the scenes, apparently the .NET team feels that they are going to be quicker to execute. So there's a performance gain by using minimal APIs, which is a shame because I think you should be able to pick between controllers and minimal APIs, and it should just be a syntactic sugar trade-off and not a performance one. So it is what it is. We got it working. Let's keep on trucking. We're going to go back to the front end because right now we're just kind of throwing the image to the server. The server's responding, but we're not getting anything back from it. And to do that, we need the upload on, let's see, there's on cancel, on clear, on progress, on upload, on success. That's what we want. On success. And we need to create I can't remember if this is a task or I guess it depends on what we're doing with it. On upload success event args. Let's do void on success upload success event args. And then args dot request dot response. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what we need to do with our request. Should be so there's status, response type, status text, response text. We should be getting the response text back, I think, and serializing it. So let me take a look again at my reference and see how I've done this before. Repositories. Oh, it's on the client side. And then I have a separate method for that. Upload success event args. And then we have try get image analysis from JSON. And that is actually going to do, yeah, deserialize. So what we want to do is take this response and we need to serialize it back. Into an image analysis. So we need to get our image analysis. Let's see, we've got dependencies here, packages. We don't have a reference. We need to do dependencies, packages, Microsoft, Azure Cognitive. So I'm going to come in here. We can display the figures in there. I need to get the same dependency for computer vision that I'm using on the back end and move or copy that to the front end. So that's what I'm doing now. So just so I have the same objects available to me on the client, I'm going to use Microsoft Cognitive Services Computer Vision on the front end. And now I should be able to control click into those models and say image analysis equals JSON, let's see, is system dot, shoot, I keep having to cheat, sorry about that. JSON serializer. No, I don't want newtonsoft.json, darn it. I want system.text.json. Serialize, and then that's going to serialize to an image analysis. And we're going to take in the response text. Response text dot, nope, it is response text. Why doesn't it like it? Cannot convert string to, isn't that what serialize does? Or did I pick the wrong one? Is it deserialize I wanted? There we go. So the deserializer is going to come back as a nullable image analysis. And that's just what it does. So if it's null, we want to throw an exception probably. Throw new exception. And we'll just leave it. Nope, that's not. Oh, wait, there it goes. Yeah, it's starting to work. All right. So if it's null, we're going to throw an exception. And we'll write some code in there to handle that in a little bit. So now we have an image analysis. What we should probably do is just kind of write out what we got back just to kind of check our work. Let's put a backing field in. Jeez, can I miss the keys enough? We want image analysis. Analysis. Right, like that. And we'll make this null. No, we want this. I made it capital. Let's not make that capital. Image analysis is going to get populated there. This throw is no longer relevant in that context. If it's null, it just won't show anything. And we are going to do a for each. Or no, it doesn't need to be for each. It just needs to be if. Don't even need the if there, do we? Say image analysis. Dot. Nope, wrong one. Lowercase image analysis dot. We want the color tags to be listed out. So I did want a for each. Let's do that. For at for each tab tags in image analysis tags. It could be null, I know. Name. There we go. So we're gonna sift through the tags. It still thinks, let's see, image analysis. I know that could be null. Is tags nullable too? Tags is not nullable. Why is that telling me that I can't use the syntax there? Dereference of null. give me, quit auto-completing the wrong one, please. Image analysis. It's not null. And it's still throwing this at me. Why is tags isn't nullable? Why is that? Why is this an issue? Question mark tags. If it's null, then give me an empty array or something. What's the deal there? Jeez. I guess tags can be null. So I guess if image analysis is null, then it's gonna send back that. Okay, good enough. We'll pull the names off. We've got some other things we can grab out of here as well. So let's do a let's do the H3 here with let's go into home real quick and throw this class on here. Theme chooser, we'll throw the class on. This is going to be a KH1. We're going to take this primary color. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep that. Let's go ahead and make this tag huge because we've got those big classes up there. We'll say style equals color. And then we're going to bind the color to image analysis dot color like that. So the H1 tag should color, and then unrecognized character sequence and property value. Sure. Does it not like the... There we go. That it likes that better. So we're going to throw the style on the H3 class up there. So that should get colored. And then we'll go ahead and write it out here as well. Image analysis dot, geez, IntelliSense. Dot color. We'll go ahead and write it out. That would work regardless, but we'll put the question mark in there to make you happy, compiler. So Blazor will eat nulls, and it won't do anything. If I took that question mark out of there, it would still work just fine. So you'll hear me complain about it, but I'll make the compiler happy. And then we'll say description. Yeah, got it right that time. Image analysis, description. We'll write the description out right here. And now we should be able to get like a full circle. Oh, I see a bad tag. I don't think I got that in time. Let's reboot that. There was a bad tag up there. Might need to actually close that out completely. Let's make sure that that's... All right, let's see what that did in the browser. Theme chooser, select a file. We're going to grab this. It's uploading. And that worked. We don't have a description. We don't have a color. So did we not bind, or no, we have an onSuccess method. It didn't bind this. I don't know why. Let's see if we can hit a breakpoint on it. Let's try re-uploading. Upload again, and no breakpoint was hit. That's interesting. It's saying the breakpoint won't be hit anyway because there's a modified version in there. Let's try reloading it. we're not getting serialization yet. There we go. Image analysis is null. Let's try to step through. Yeah. It's null as can be. It's not serializing. So it's probably a serializer option. So we'll throw an option in here. We'll say new JSON serializer options dot. Is it not the syntax for this? There we go. Let's see. We want web. I'm not writing this out right. JSON serializer defaults web. That's what I was trying to get at. And that's the enum, but that's still not the right syntax. Let's do, okay, so it goes like this. New JSON serializer options, open that up, and then it's JSON serializer defaults web. So the reason that it wasn't serializing back, I believe, is going to be because we didn't have the web serializer options enabled. And that is not a default thing anymore. You need to set that. If you're going to use JSON serialize and deserialize directly like this, you need to make sure that the options are the same on the both ends of the methods, the deserialize and the serialize. So we're using the web version of JSON to serialize it as a JSON string. And then there we go. Look at that. The color needs to be tweaked. But the rest of it seems to be good. So we sent a picture up. Let me see if I can get the picture in on the screen for everybody so you can see what that picture looks like. Edit with photos. There we go. I don't know where I grabbed this, but it's just, oh, I know what that is. Hey, that's a familiar place. This is the Rakia Rocket Bar in Sofia, Bulgaria. I grabbed that photo in Bulgaria. I don't know if that's my photo or one from their website, but still, awesome restaurant place to visit. Anyhow, so this is what I'm grabbing and sending to the server, and you could see it's got tables and chairs and lights, and it's a restaurant setting. And what we're getting from the API is there's furniture, it's indoors, there's floors, a shelf, ceiling, desk. Not really a desk, but okay. Kitchen table, dining room table, book, coffee table, room, flooring, cabinetry. These are all tags it has tagged this with. And I don't see description being shown in here. The color's coming back as a complex type still. So the color has more than just the color property on it. We want the accent color. We'll write that out here as well, accent color. And we may need to append the hash symbol onto that. So I think just the code comes back. So we'll put that on there. And we'll put that there. And then description. Does it have tags, captions? Is it captions that we wanted? Let's try be multiple, wouldn't it? That's an I list of captions. What did I use on my previous example? So I've done this again. I've done this before. Okay, I'm not writing those things out here. Okay, the description comes back as an array as well. So there's tags and then the description dot tags. There can be multiple description elements here. So we need to, let's just grab the first item just to make this easy and not have to write another for loop. So we're getting data back now. So we're sending the image up, we're getting data back, and we're able to parse through that data. So we're in a good place. We'll send the file up one more time. There we go. Look at that. Our color just changed in our title. Theme chooser just changed. So description came back text. That's not what I expected to come out of that. I'll have to look into the description element. I know there's an actual like description that comes out of there. Let's put a breakpoint on. See if we can pinpoint that. We'll throw another file at the server. Same one, but exercise it one more time. And we should hit a breakpoint. We did. We'll step in so we can actually get the values off of image analysis. And under description, there is captions, and there's multiple captions. That one is dining room with table and chairs. There's tags, and the tag is text. That is, so we don't want tags, we want captions dot item description captions, and then we want the first item off of that. Let's try that. And we need to rerun this. Let's take the breakpoint out, rebuild it, stop debugging, sure. Go ahead and rerun the whole thing. And I think we'll end on that note. We actually got the thing what we want done. So this is the value we're going to be tapping into to make our theme chooser possible. There we go. Oh, jeez. Still not the right value. Captions, 0, text. Rerun one more time. And what we should see is a table with chairs in that text. Let's zoom in so you can see this. Select, upload a file. File comes back. The color is represented in the H1 tag. We have the color is also AC341F. Description is a dining room table with chairs. And then we have all these tags. So what we'll want to do next time on our next show is to take this data and save it somewhere for one. Let's do a little notation here. So we want to save the metadata. Display the image. We haven't displayed it yet. Display the image from the server. List previous images uploaded. We want to apply the color. Let's see, we got the accent color. We want to apply the accent color to let's see, what is that? What is the CSS thing called? Color dash mix. Yeah, apply the color, accent color to color mix to create a palette. And create or add a button to select select a theme from previous, let's say apply a theme from previous from listed items. Apply theme to entire application using CSS variables. So we got a lot of work to do yet. So some of these are things I didn't do in my proof of concept, by the way. So I know I keep jumping back to a little cheat sheet that I've got to try to fix bugs quickly on the show. We're gonna run out of that rope pretty soon. So on the next show or shows, we're going to take the metadata that we're getting back and you saw on the screen in, I don't have the example running. We'll run it one more time so we can look at it, look at our next steps. Choose theme, select a file. We're going to upload this image. We're displaying the metadata, but we're not displaying the image. So we want to display that image on the page. We want to list previously uploaded images. So we want to save the data to a database. And we want to recall that previous data too. So when we upload, we will save it to a database. The database will then we'll make a call to fetch items out of that database and display them all on the page with all of their all of their metadata. We eventually want to be able to sort too. Sort and filter by metadata. So we'll have some sort of user interface here where we can upload a bunch of images and then we can filter through them. Maybe we want to say, I want my theme to be something that has like a night sky. So we might have some filters in there that we can write or click on, or tags that we can click on or whatever. And then we'll have a button that says apply theme, and then we'll hit the button to apply that theme. So we'll display images from the server, list any previously uploaded images, apply the accent color to the color mix function, and create a palette because we're getting one color back. What we want to do is lighten that color and darken that color and create a palette off of that color. So we want to do that, and then we want a button to apply it, and then we want that applied theme to cascade through the entire site, and we want to be able to search these things. So that's a pretty big chunk of work that we're going to cut off, but we got some of the foundational bits done. We're sending this to OpenAI, or not OpenAI. We're sending it to Azure Vision, and we are getting back data from it, and we are going to be able to save that data and utilize it in our application. So again, sorry about the troubleshooting delays in the beginning. We just I forgot to set the accept header on the HTTP minimal API. So that was that problem. Nice chatting and troubleshooting with you, and we'll see you next time. Take care.